Holy crap, am I live? That seems to be the case. My head be going crazy, man. Jesus Christ. My hair be going wild. It's the imminent sign of poverty. This is proof of poverty. I'm talking about proof of poverty. He ain't all that. What? I'ma kick your ass. I'ma give you a proper ass whoop. He ain't all that. KSI cheating versus Fr3ddy. The Switch and Kevin present more. Making Gom from scratch on FL Studio. That's a different stream. That's a musical experience on its own, man. Bati Gom, Ngomai Dom, Bati Gom, Ngomai Dom, Bati Gom, Gom. Used and only found in the village of Wakanda. They can only be found in the streets of Wakanda forever. Wakanda, Uganda. The current stream bitrate rate is lower than recommended. You can't tell the bitrate rate here, right? Can I edit all that? Nah, it's going to send me to a different place, you know. It's going to send me to Edge, Microsoft Edge. Who uses that search engine? I've never seen a beam use. Microsoft search engine. It's unconceivable. It's despicable. It ain't all that, man. So what am I gonna do again? I'm gonna go to YouTube, man. And when I go to YouTube, man. That's the gist of it. And I head out to YouTube. Is the stream still even on? What do they? Sagi and Rain are making something huge. Something huge. How? How are they cooking something huge? seems I am not lagging badly. But we gotta see this one, right? If Isagi and Rin are cooking up something, we most definitely gotta see. With our own fucking eyes. It's better be there than being told, you know? I rather know for myself what Blue Look Japan is cooking up. It's gotta be something good. It's niggas be following Kai everywhere. If Kai there, we there. Access point temporary what? Now, this means one thing and one thing only. We are gonna have a terrible stream. The stream is going to be ugly. The stream is gonna be bad.
Listen, paying 199 Rand a month for a streaming app, and 59.99 for a music app, and 99.99 for a fitness app, and more money for a bunch of other apps? That really adds up. So why not get YouTube Premium for just 81.99? It's like having all those and
The leaks for chapter 300
are out.
This video, we continue with Rin being absolutely furious at Ego, but then in the end, something pretty exciting seems to happen with him. But I know you guys don't like being spoiled, so you will have to wait to know more. However, trust me, the ending after that is just insane.
He's
But
talking
so as not
back
to
at
waste any
Ego,
time,
huh?
let's get right into it. Alright, so the chapter starts off with us seeing two really dope characters that we haven't seen in a while. The text also says the U20 World Cup was heating up and the world's prodigies were already making their mark. Across the tournament, the second matches were concluding with brutal efficiency. The first one we see is the GOAT, Kaiser. Now, we don't just see him, but we also see that Germany won their match against Korea with a 4-1 score. Now, it doesn't say how many goals Kaiser scored. However, since he scored a hat-trick in the latest match, I wouldn't be surprised if he scored the majority of those 4 goals. But just that overall is completely insane, and I'm dying for more Kaiser content as of late. The next special player we see is actually Bunny, who looks extremely cold. By the way, don't mind the text as it says that Say led the win, because I'm not sure who wrote that and what they are taking. But yeah, anyway, we see that it says that Spain won the match against Qatar with a 5-2 score. Once again, it doesn't say if Bunny scored any goals or not. However, I wouldn't be surprised if he also scored a ton of them. After that, we actually see yet another score from a game. This time, it is between Nigeria and England, where we see that England won against Nigeria with a 5-1 score, which is insane. However, at the same time, we should be happy that Onatsi finally got his goal at the very least. Anyway, this means that it's a bit tricky for Japan since France has now secured their win in this bracket, while England is currently in second place and Japan is in third place. What this means is that Japan obviously has to win against England in order to get out of the group stage
England is going
and
to be a
continue in the
tough
U20
match.
World Cup. Anyway, after that, we head right back into the locker room, and here it's also heating up since the shockwave of Ego's announcement was still paralyzing the team. Now, what was the announcement? Well, it was, of course, the fact that Rin was being removed from the starting lineup. Hearing that firstly made Rin freeze, but that's far from all. His eyes quickly widened and his pupils shrank into pinpricks for pure and insane rage. After that, Rin finally speaks up as he sounds extremely confused, as he then asks Ego why he is being benched. But that's not all either, as Rin tells Ego that he isn't going to back down and that he won't bend his ego to be number 1. After that, It says that Yukimiya tried to step in to calm him down, but once again, that can't be true since Yukimiya isn't even in the panel. However, we do see Aiku, who tries to calm Rin down, but even then, it doesn't do much, as Ego's tone is firm and not moving. Ego then tells Rin that up until now, Blue Lock has revolved entirely around him and Isagi. Ego continues as he tells Rin straight up that it was built on the premise that the two of them would constantly evolve together, like two wheels on a single axle. But in the match against France, when Isagi stagnated and lost his options, Rin also stagnated. Because of that, Ego explains that his team cannot become new with him on the pitch right now, which is a crazy thing to hear. However, if you thought that our bowl cut manager was done, then I have some news, as Ego adjusts his glasses a bit by pushing them up as he tells Rin that right now, his ego is being dictated by Isagi's ego, saying that it's been proven that his game nature is fragile, and because of that, he should take another look and see if an ego like that is truly worthy of the world's best striker. But hearing that would, well, honestly, destroy most of us, and it sure did that to Rin as he then turned his back towards Ego and just started to walk out. He started to mutter and almost whisper to himself as he told them all to, well, off themselves to put it nicely, and just that overall left all of them, but also Isagi, completely silenced. But this strange atmosphere didn't stop just in the locker room and far from it, as it even followed into the training room, because here we see Isagi just casually sitting on a yoga mat doing what you do on a yoga mat, which is of course stretching, but not long away from him was Rin, also just sitting there and, well, stretching. After some time, Isagi decides to break the somewhat awkward silence as he speaks up and says that he is frustrated to death. Isagi then coldly just starts to look over at Rin, as he then asks Rin if he isn't also frustrated. Being told all that by Ego as well must have left him pretty upset. Rin seems to just be annoyed that Isagi is even talking with him, as he is only looking at him with the corner of his eye. Anyway, he does in fact partake in the conversation, as he tells Isagi that he is just in a bad mood, telling Isagi not to talk to him and calling him an annoying piece of trash. And isn't that just the old and loving Rin that all of us enjoy? Isagi, however, isn't going to sit there and just take it, as he tells Rin that it's his line right there. He starts to lean forward towards Rin, as he then gets straight into the point. He tells Rin that in the match just now, he intended to evolve in his own way, but their biggest cause of defeat was that Rin didn't stick his tongue out, which I mean I know very well that sticking his tongue out is Rin's signature thing, but come on, that just sounds weird. Rin seems to know that there is some truth to that, as he is just staying silent, and isn't really ready to counter that. Because of that, Isagi has to continue and carry that conversation of there, as he starts to talk about his berserker state, and his true destructive flow. Isagi then gives us a yap party, which I'm not complaining by, but anyway, he says that it's true that he lost sight of his ego. Isagi then starts to pray with his hands, as he then takes a deep breath and explains that he was shaken mentally. He couldn't readjust and drag them down. As a result, they covered for each other and ended up with a missed shot. Because of that, they then ultimately lost, saying that this result is exactly what they deserve. But from the moment Rin felt him on that last shot, they couldn't cause a chemical reaction, which to be honest, is pretty brutal for them. After that, it seems like Isagi has some sort of new determination in his eyes as they start to burn. He tells Rin that he didn't come here to talk about serious stuff, but instead, he explains to Rin that he came to find out more about the switch for his ego, as after all, finding it again might be the hint to getting stronger, which honestly is a really fair point. That seems to finally make Rin somewhat partake in the conversation, as he then turns and starts to look fully at Isagi, then begins to explain what he thought of next. He tells Rin that he organized what he noticed in that match using Ego's theory. With that, Isagi was able to figure out that people have their own mental game nature. He thinks that there's such a thing as an ego trait. Hearing that actually seems to leave Rin a bit interested, as he seems curious what Isagi means by ego trait. Isagi then starts to nod at Rin as he tells him that, for example, even if you have the talent of a number 2 player, if your game nature is built on beating the number 1 guy, then your ego trait is a rebel. If you want to destroy everything by betting your life, then you are a destroyer. Isagi continues, as he says that Bachira wants to be a free monster, so he's an eccentric. Everyone lives their ego's game separately, but a chemical reaction happens when you link those egos together to create magic that one person can't do alone. Isagi then starts to lean in, and his aura starts to shift to something far darker and more intense. With that, he tells Rin that he came to tell him this because he wants to cause a new chemical reaction with him, as their chemical reactions are the best. Anyway, he explains that he hasn't figured out the exact play yet, but the fact that he came straight to him to give him a hint instead of cutting ties means he is not a rebel. Because of that, he points to himself and says that he is a demon king, and he doesn't care if that sounds corny because it's so cold.
Oh my god, Blue Lock sucks. Like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What is this? I'm great, you great, G. Like, that's good news, man. I'm not great, man. What am I even watching? No, man, like, Blue Lock, I need to cut this shit off, man.
Anyway, this makes Rin stare at him and just absorb what he has just heard. We then move to Isagi again, who says that, in short, for him to become the world's best striker, he absolutely needs his completely unhinged, crazy ego.
Like, I feel like Blue Lock is way too stupid at this moment. Like, Isagi could have protected the position and let Rin shoot, because Rin is the best shooter in the team, right? Like, Rin was not missing at that range. You know, so Isagi could have just stepped away and let Rin take the shot. Rin could have stepped back and let Isagi take the shot. Like, all this crap is just... I miss
Rin,
Aoi
however,
Ashi, I don't
just starts to ask Isagi if it's to devour him. On top of that, he isn't even a regular anymore,
your blue
but even then,
and all
he says that he will
man.
definitely force his way into the game in the next match against England. I know that it said Isagi, but I mean, it just has to have been Rin who said it. Isagi then looks at him,
Shavi,
and both of their
how are you,
auras start to
Shavi the
go wild
goat?
before Isagi tells Rin that he will save Blue Lock, and that line goes
The
completely
Rin Slender
insane.
is crazy.
Like, I just love this duo so
Nah,
much.
man.
After that, it seems
It
like the
ain't
next
even
chapter will be
Slender at
called
this
Trash
point.
Doll, which, I mean, sure, sounds interesting, and there is no break news, so I would assume that
At this point, it ain't even Slender, man. You know, but we got Rin out of the pitch, which is rather good news to me. Boys are